Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about things women say that are red flags, things she says that should make you want to run for the hills. I've done a couple of videos like this, but this is like the part 3 version because every time I post a video, you guys leave awesome comments of like things that I didn't even think about, and they give me ideas for new videos, and then periodically I'll be out or be talking to someone and I'll hear another red flag, and I write it in a little note in my phone, and I have a little list going. So this is part 3 of things women say that are red flags. And just to preface, this video could apply to men as well, so I think it would also be a red flag if a man said any of these things. I don't feel the need to say that in every single video because I just assume you guys will know that. My audience is 97% male, so it would make sense for me to direct these to you guys. But if you're a woman watching, if you're a man watching thinking, well, would it be a red flag if men said these things too? The answer is yes. Okay, starting strong with number 1 here, something that I've heard a lot recently, and you might have too if you watched my interviews that I did with the girls: I can change him. I cannot believe how often people say this out loud, and especially how much I've heard this lately. This is basically just setting yourself up for disappointment and disaster, especially if this is about important things such as, core values or your life goals. He only makes $30K, but I can change him. There's a couple things here that are wrong with this. There can be a bit of a controlling aspect here. Just the mere thought that you can or should change someone that you're romantically interested in is not a great way to enter a relationship. It's not also a great way to look at relationships. Trying to change someone to fit the mold of what you want them to be is not only a disappointment for you and negative for you, but also for that other person involved. You can't change people. People have to want things on their own, and they have to want to change. Of course, there are silly little things that you might discover as you date someone throughout the relationship. A relationship does require compromise and change, but that comes from both of you willing to change that about yourself and put in the work, not from saying things like, oh, I can change him or I can change her. Going in knowing that there are things you want to change about this person is not necessarily the best thing. I can make videos for you guys all day, every day, but if you just watch and don't actually want to change for yourself or improve your life, well, my videos are pointless, right? You have to actually want to be better and want to change in order for that change to happen in your life. And me thinking that I can mold you all into little cookie cutter gingerbread men of what I want you to be is just silly and would be a negative thought for me to have. I can't make you change, and the same here goes with a relationship. I think often when women say things like, I can change him or I can fix him, it doesn't necessarily come from a malicious place, but it comes from a place of having insecurity within yourself and trauma within yourself that you're kind of projecting onto your relationships and other people. Number 2, I've cheated more than once. Listen, sometimes people change. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt sometimes, but also sometimes they don't. Just because someone cheated in the past doesn't necessarily mean that they will do it again. People do change and learn from their mistakes. But if they've admitted to cheating multiple times, or they don't feel bad about it, or they make excuses or justifications or whatever it is, don't waste your time. If you guys watched the video where I was reacting to the girl who was talking about how, oh, if he doesn't find out that I cheated, it's not mean, and she was making all these excuses and basically saying that she was a serial cheater, sometimes people really flat out, point blank, tell you exactly who they are, and in this case, you should believe them. Has no remorse, takes zero accountability, and justifies her actions with this, that, and the other. It's gonna be a no from me. If it happened once, maybe they were young, they learned from their mistakes, they're a changed person, they feel really bad about it, and then they'll never do it again. There are people out there like that. I don't think once a cheater, always a cheater, but sometimes people really are serial cheaters. And if she's admitting to it, if she's telling you about it, do what you want, but my big sister advice for all of you would be to move along. Number 3, I get whatever I want. Yes, there are people who really say this. A girl like this typically cannot handle hearing the word no. It's someone who, if you set boundaries with them, they will not want to be in your life, or they will make you feel like a horrible person because of it. A girl like this who is saying, I get whatever I want, or I never hear the word no, or I don't like the word no, all of these can be kind of looped together, and it often is this entitled princess mentality, which is not good for anybody to act that way, especially not someone that you're trying to date. If she's going out of her way to tell you, I always get what I want, or I always get my way, just do yourself a favor and remove you from the equation. This is just a headache waiting to happen, in my opinion. I don't like being around people who have an entitled princess behavior and think they just deserve things because they're breathing. I don't know, because they're a woman. I can't handle people that act like that. I don't want to be friends with someone like that, let alone date them. Number 4, I don't have any girlfriends. I do want to say that making friends can be difficult, especially as we get older. Trying to make friends as an adult, I feel like, is a lot harder than making friends when you're younger, just because you're kind of experiencing life together, you're on the same track when you're in school and all of that. When you become an adult, everyone's kind of all over the place, and it can be harder to meet people and make meaningful connections as we get a little bit older for some people. But one thing I've noticed over the years of people that have no friends of the same sex, so a girl that says, I don't have any friends that are girls, or a guy that says, I don't have any friends that are guys, they're normally incredibly difficult to get along with. Is this 100% the case? Absolutely not. I don't want to necessarily group everyone into this little category here, but I do find a common theme with people who are always the victim in a situation, who can't maintain friendships, who, oh, well, we aren't friends anymore because she was this, that, and the other, and it's never their fault, right? They always play the victim in these kind of situations. And there's, again, often the common denominator is them, and they're normally really hard to get along with. I've known people who I meet them and I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl's amazing. And she's like, yeah, I don't really have any girlfriends and whatever. And then the longer you're friends with them, you start to understand why this is the case. The true colors always come out, right? So I just have found in my personal experience, maybe you guys have experienced something different, but when a girl says, I don't have any girlfriends, it's normally for a reason. And I'm even going so far as to give them the benefit of the doubt and just say one. If she doesn't at least have one girlfriend, one person that she's friends with, just one. And I'm really being gracious when I say just one. There's an issue there. Why is she unable to maintain her friendships? Why is she unable to get along with people? And again, a girl like this will typically tell you about the falling out that she's had with friends in the past or what happened, and coincidentally, it's never her fault. Seems a little suspicious. There's a common denominator here, gentlemen, and it happens to be her. And number 5 is buy me a drink. You could really replace the drink here with anything, but I'm just thinking of a situation where you're maybe out and about, maybe you're out for the night and a girl's like, hey, buy me a drink. Or, hey, I'll come talk to you if you buy me and my friends a drink or a shot. Just don't do it. The reason I have this as a red flag is because if your initial interaction with her is her trying to get something out of you and blatantly coming out and saying it, that's normally not a good sign for what the rest of your relationship with her would look like. If you're out and a girl tells you, buy me a drink, or if you message her on Instagram and she says, send me money for a reply, or buy me a bag, or buy me whatever, buy me a fancy dinner, take me here, or if it's anything involving gifts or giving her money or whatever it could be, 99% of the time, this just means she's about to use you. If the only way she will talk to you is if you buy her a drink, how do you really think that's gonna go? If the only way she will reply to your message is if you Venmo her money or Cash App her, how do you think that's going to end up? Again, just a red flag to me from the very beginning. If you're starting an interaction this way and automatically making it super transactional and blatantly transactional, normally never ends well. All right, guys, that is all I have for things women say that are red flags. If I missed anything or if you have an experience, please share it down in the comments. Maybe I'll make a part 4 video if I get enough down in the comment section. But definitely share your tips and advice and stories with other guys to help some other people out as well. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. If you like this video or found it helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop when I release new content. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.